Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience and indulgence. We have our voting list in front of us. Voting list number 14. We'll begin with House Bill 571.
House Bill 571 is a bill that allows nonprofit housing corporations with LIHTC tax credits to automatically get a pilot payment in lieu of taxes that allows them to finance either the construction or the maintenance on a building. There was substantial negotiation with Maryland Association of Counties, Montgomery County, Legal Aid, and a number of other people. And I'm happy to say that the amendments you're looking at are finally the final amendments that everyone agrees to. And so we are removing the amendments that came on in subcommittee, which were the wrong set. So I need to move the amendments that you have in front of you. Madam Chair, move the amendments.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Any, Delegate Pippy.
Okay. Can we go over what the bill does now as amended, or hypothetically as amended?
So a low-income, a nonprofit housing developer that develops low-income housing with LIHTC tax credits automatically gets the status of payment in lieu of taxes, a pilot, which allows them to, instead of paying the taxes to the property taxes, they are able to take that money and finance and invest in housing construction, new housing construction, and maintenance if it's a project that's already built.
Okay, so this doesn't exempt these local projects from paying local taxes. It just says if that's already a scenario that they're just using those would-be taxes to reinvest in the project?
Correct. But it's a payment in lieu of taxes.
Understand.
Yes.
And with these amendments, is MML in support?
Yes.
And MACO's in support?
Yes.
And they conveyed that to you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Oh. There's been a motion favorable as amended and second on House Bill 571. Delegate Ahrens.
Yeah, just a couple questions. MML was the one that really put up the stink on this bill, I think, or sent the letter of they didn't like it. Are they addressed in that amendment you're talking to? Did they get back and say they're okay with, because taxes were part of the issue of how the local control's gone?
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what, it's my understanding that they are. The initial part of the negotiation happened before it came to my attention, and then I jumped in for the second half of the negotiation, at which point I was told they were satisfied with it. So, sorry. Okay. So if you're not comfortable with my report and want to text them, that's fine, and you can vote however you want now and then vote in favor on the floor. It is my understanding that MML and MACO are fine with this. Okay.
Okay, the other question I had is local controls being taken away on this again. And I'm kind of confused with MACO approving some of these things. And again, I came from local government, and giving up those types of controls was an issue for me. And I know this is a sensitive subject, but nonprofit, a developer and nonprofit kind of doesn't jive in my mind. It doesn't sit well with me. How are we addressing that? Because these guys are builders. They're going to be doing work. And how do we address keeping an eye on them? Anything in the bill for that?
There are in this state nonprofit housing developers. A lot of the developers who use the low-income housing tax credit are nonprofit housing developers. So, for example, Enterprise in my county, Enterprise, MHP, Maryland Housing. What does the P stand for? Pam, do you know? Anyways, MHP. These are nonprofits that use it. There are all kinds of federal requirements on them if they're using LIHTC. There's all kinds of other nonprofit requirements, but this bill is specific to enabling the pilot specifically on those projects. It is, it doesn't do anything else about additional requirements. There are a whole host of requirements for nonprofits.
Okay.
There's a host of requirements for using LIHTC, so I don't,
I guess my question comes back, and you know, I've had issues on nonprofits and auditing before. Is there anything in there to bring accountability? Because we're using what would be taxpayer dollars to fund these things, and I appreciate
yes,
that.
that's
But is there
correct.
anything to put a check and balance on that?
other than a slew of rules that already come with LIHTC, and there's a lot of them. You could look them up if you want to know what they are. Other than that, there's nothing new in this bill as it
Okay.
relates to accountability.
All right, thank you very much.
Delegate Bandari.
Yeah, thank you. My understanding is this is a very good bill. This helps housing affordability by reducing property tax burden on nonprofit affordable housing providers. Yeah, this is a great bill.
Seeing no further discussion, there's been a motion favorable as amended and second on House Bill 571. Vice Chair,
Yes.
Delegate Turner. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Howard. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Buafo is excused. Delegate Bandari.
Yes.
Delegate Rogers.
Yes.
Delegate Chi. Delegate Aaron's.
Respectfully, no.
Delegate Queen. Delegate Ampry.
Yes.
Delegate Adams.
I'm going to vote yes.
Delegate Pippy.
Yes.
Delegate Crosby is excused. Delegate Rose. Delegate Wyville. Delegate Roberts. House Bill 571 passes 13, majority. Delegate Chi, did you want to move down, or? Yeah, I'm still waiting. Okay, we're going to skip to House Bill 994.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 994, Business Regulation, Travel Services, Special Fund Fees, and Surety Requirement, authorizes the Department of Labor to adopt regulations to establish requirements and procedures for the regulation of sellers of travel and for enforcement. There's an amendment that alters the definition of seller of travel to exclude a person that rents or operates a short-term rental unit in a short-term rental platform.
I need to move the amendments first. Because it didn't go through subcommittee. So I'll move the amendments.
Second.
All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposition or discussion, seeing none.
I move the bill as amended.
Second.
House Bill 994 has been properly moved favorable as amended and second. Any discussion? Delegate Adams.
Thank you. This bill has been introduced before and it doesn't make it. Is it because there's opposition? And I'm trying to recall, because I don't have my bill file with me today, where is the opposition on the bill?
Opposition was in the Senate, but I don't know.
Come on, 994. 994. In other words, are the travel agents asking for this bill, or are they opposed to it?
Society of Travel Advisors.
So are there questions, the penalty, are there penalty provisions under the bill? What's the, is it that they're unregulated and now we're regulating them? You're going to have to help me just a little bit, because I believe I voted against this bill in the past, and I would not do this if the industry is asking for
I think this bill came out.
compliance.
This bill came out last year.
Yeah, I mean, the industries came out.
The American Society of Travel Advisors, who I don't know if they represent the whole industry or who they are, but they say that it creates a regulatory burden on them that's not currently there. Sorry? That's the only opposition, yeah.
Delegate Adams, that was, okay. Is there, Delegate Fennell?
Hi, I remember we had this bill last year, and I think the travel agencies, they wanted at that time because there was no regulation, because you had people that, agencies that was not in good standards offering these type of deals, and that's what happened to that family from Prince George County that perished. Okay, as I can recall, from Bowie. Correct? Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. The bill has been, there was a motion favorable as amended and second. Vice Chair?
Yes.
Delegate Turner? Delegate Fennell? Delegate Pruski? Delegate Howard? Delegate Johnson? Delegate Buafo's excused. Delegate Bandari?
Yes.
Delegate Rogers?
Yes.
Delegate Chi?
Yes.
Delegate Aaron's? No. Delegate Queen?
Yes.
Delegate Amprey?
Yes.
Delegate Adams? No. Delegate Pippi? No. Delegate Crosby's excused. Delegate Rose? No. Delegate Wyval? Yes. Delegate Roberts? Yes. House Bill 994 passes 12. We're holding 1214. House Bill 1351.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1351, Home Improvement Contractors, Disaster Mitigation, Regulation, and Prohibitions. This alters the definition of home improvement to include disaster mitigation services, additionally authorizing owners to rescind a home improvement contract for disaster mitigation services under certain conditions. There were some amendments. The amendments, the definition of home improvement is expanded to include the provision of disaster mitigation services, tree removal, water remediation services that restore a property to a safe and habitable state. It exempts home improvement contractors from certain licensing requirements in certain instances, and it authorizes owners under the age of 65 to rescind within 5 days after entering into a contract, specifying that the owner that is at least 65 years old to rescind within 7 days after entering the contract.
Both, we didn't have it in this committee, so I'm going to move the amendments first.
Second.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposition or discussion?
Move the bill
Seeing none.
favorable as amended.
Second.
There's been a motion favorable as amended and second on House Bill 1351. Any discussion? Delegate Adams.
To my friend sitting to my left so he doesn't tackle me. My number one concern with the bill, and I appreciate the committee letting me try to work this out, is that you literally are striking one of the most important parts of the MHIC, which is the part where the consumer in a door-to-door sale has a certain amount of cooling off period. That's what you're doing in this amendment. And I had a problem with this at the bill hearing. I had a problem with this as the bill is being advanced through subcommittee. And let me just say, and I'll stop here, next year, so if the bill passes next year, I'm going to come to my friend to my left, and I'm going to seek, with respect, a conversation or a bill that revisits why we have the Door-to-Door Sales Act and the MHIC to begin with. Because if we believe in the MHIC, okay, and the protections that we give to the consumer, then you have to believe in the part where somebody goes to your door and you sign a contract and that is no longer worthy of a cooling off period. So while I don't do mitigation work, I certainly am an MHIC contractor and understand why it's there. It protects consumers from bad actors. This bill strikes that important part. I'm going to be a no on the bill.
Thank you. I'm just looking through the bill. I know there's some amendments. What was the part about something with 65?
Age of 65 to rescind within 5 days after entering into the contract.
What's special about 65?
You get 7 days if it's over 65.
Steve,
Yeah.
you good with this? No, I mean, I'm trying to,
If you're over 65, you get 2 extra days.
you get 2 extra days. That's a little prejudice towards me, I guess, but, all right.
When you're 65, you'll understand. You'll appreciate it.
Yeah, really. It's slow making things.
Okay, thank you.
Ask the good delegate to your left.
So be careful.
So I was getting ready to say.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to clarify what the bill does as amended. And I know my friend to the right and I have had some rich discussions, and I hope that we can continue those discussions and we go to a line-by-line discussion of the reprint, what the bill actually does. And first, I just want to talk about the bill and why I'm supporting this bill and why it's an important bill for me and my community. There has been a string of fires throughout Hamden, where I live in Baltimore. We lost some souls in the most recent one. We've lost several small businesses. And when these fires happen in Baltimore, unfortunately, there are certain bad actors that literally are ambulance chasing. And what they do is they pull up to the scene, they bum rush the doors of those who just are getting over a horrible incident, and they are forcing them to sign contracts to do the work. And then within those contracts, they say, hey, your insurance will pay for it. What happens is they start the work, they do the work, and when the insurance pays for it, they come to find out they charge them 5-7 times the normal cost to do some of this work. So what this bill does is it brings these mitigation disaster workers under some of the law that we have to make sure that they are acting in accordance with laws around the ability to actually rescind the contracts after a cooling off period. So what the bill does is it actually gives people the right, after 5 days, when they've talked to their insurance, when they figured out the terms, they can go back to that. They can go back to and say, hey, under the law now, I now understand what's happening, and I can actually rescind this contract and have my insurance work it out with another contractor. And again, under the bill, within those 5 days, let's say that person boards up the windows and doors and clears out a little bit of trash, right? In those first 3 or 4 days after the incident happens, under the bill, the client would still be responsible for whatever cost is associated with those first 4 to 5 days of them doing some work. So if they clear the building, board it up, they would still pay for that. But when it gets into them sawing, cutting, doing more laborious work that costs more money, and they find out this person is charging them 5 or 10 times the normal rate, they can go and rescind the contract, because now we are bringing these mitigation services under the MHIC laws and rules. So again, I understand the concerns of my colleague to my right, but I think that if you really look at the bill, understand the bill, what it actually does is it protects consumers, and it ensures that people who, no matter what kind of services you were having done to your home, you have some of the rights that Maryland has in place, like the cooling off period, so you can get more understanding. So with that said, look forward to voting on this bill, look forward to this bill moving across this year, and thank you, Madam Chair.
A sponsor of the bill, I witnessed exact same situation, and thank you for bringing the bill. I don't want to go in the lengthy discussion on this. Would love to be a co-sponsor on this bill.
Seeing no further discussion, there was a motion favorable as amended and second on House Bill 1351. Vice Chair.
Yes.
Delegate Turner? Yes. Delegate Fennell? Delegate Pruski? Aye. Delegate Howard? No. Delegate Johnson? Aye. Delegate Wafo's excused. Delegate Bhandari? Yes. Delegate Rogers? Yes. Delegate Chi? Yes. Delegate Arentz? No. Delegate Queen? Yes. Delegate Ampry? Yes. Delegate Adams?
Respectfully, then?
Delegate Pippy?
No respect.
Delegate Crosby's excused. I needed that, Pippi. Delegate Rose. Delegate Wyville? Oh, I thought you were, no. Delegate Roberts.
Still only counts once. Right, well, we're on to you.
House Bill 1351 passes 11. Delegate. House Bill 1362.
House Bill 1362. I want to hear me, huh? So this bill is one of my favorite colleagues in my subcommittee's bill, the accountant that checks our fiscal notes. House Bill 1362. This bill requires all means of the governing body of condominium or HOAs to be recorded. Recording may be paused for the duration of any closed portion of the meeting. And there are a few amendments that exempt developers. The bill requirements do not apply if a member objects. And recordings cannot replace meeting minutes. So, yeah.
I'll move on favorable. Second. Just kidding.
Wow. Wow.
Love you, Ivel. Just wanted to see you react. You didn't react as much as they did, though.
It's not April 1st yet, folks. It's not April 1st yet.
We have to adopt the amendments first.
So I move the amendments.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Did you? Any opposition, discussion, seeing none?
I'm moving the bill as amended favorable. Thank you for your help.
Thanks for your help.
There's been a motion favorable as amended and a second on House Bill 1362. Seeing no discussion, Vice Chair?
Yes.
Delegate Turner? Yes. Delegate Fennell? Delegate Pruski? Aye. Delegate Howard? Yes. Delegate Johnson? Delegate Boffo's excused. Delegate Bandari?
Yes.
Delegate Rogers?
Ditto, yes.
Delegate Chi?
Yeah.
Delegate Aaron's?
Yes.
Delegate Queen?
Respectfully, yes.
Delegate Ampery?
Questionable, yes.
Delegate Adams? Adams? Pregnant pause, yes. Delegate Pippi?
Yes for now.
Delegate Crosby's excused. Delegate Rose? Delegate Wyval?
Thanks for all the support, yes.
Delegate Roberts? House Bill 1362 passes favorable 17. House Bill 1529.
Yes, Madam Chair. House Bill 1529, this is a local bill. This bill establishes specific requirements for a local common ownership commission created by Baltimore County, including requirements related to membership fees, coordination with other local government agencies, and the registration of common ownership communities. The bill also establishes procedures and requirements for dispute resolution. I believe some of the, I guess I'll turn to council. I believe there are some amendments. I think the amendments actually address, there are no amendments now? Okay, got it. And this, so just for clarity's sake, Montgomery County, Prince George's County have similar setups like this, and they're working really well to support our common ownership communities and HOAs.
There's been a motion favorable and a second on House Bill 1529. Any discussion? Delegate Aaron's.
Just briefly, Maryland Judicial Council had some comments on the bill. Are they addressed anywhere? Because if we're doing it somewhere else, where they addressed then, do you know? Court of competent jurisdiction was some of the buzzwords they used.
Madam Chair, there actually is a set of amendments that's going to get adopted on the floor related to this. Because of timing, we're moving it now, and then we're going to have a set for the floor.
Okay, okay.
They'll be satisfied.
Any
And then you'll be satisfied.
further discussion? Seeing none.
With new information, that's always.
Vice Chair?
Yes.
Delegate Turner? Delegate Fennell? Delegate Pruski? Delegate Howard? Delegate Johnson? Delegate Boffo's excused. Delegate Bandari? Delegate Rogers? Delegate Chi? Delegate Aaron's? Delegate Queen?
Yes.
Delegate Ampery?
Yes.
Delegate Adams? No. Delegate Pippi? Yes.
Yes.
I just want to make
Take it, you gotta take it, Madam Chair. Keep going. Just keep going.
Delegate Crosby's excused. Delegate Rose? Delegate Wyval? Delegate Roberts? Yes.
Look at that. Hey, Pissy, big tent.
House Bill 1529 passes 13. We're going back to House Bill 883.
What is 883? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. HB 883 is about AI, generative AI interaction. It basically says these systems such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, et cetera, it prohibits these systems from misrepresenting them as capable of providing behavioral health services or are licensed behavioral health professionals. It also requires consumer AI systems to include a clear disclosure as such. There is an amendment that basically strikes the current finance and procurement article and substitute it with the insurance article, which is currently how all other AI systems are being regulated. And also it strikes the $1 million fine and substitute with conforming with current Consumer Protection Act provision.
I move the amendment. Oh,
Move the amendments.
Second.
All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. Any discussion? Delegate Rose.
I'm fine with the amendments. I just have a question.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to move the bill favorable as
Can I ask a
amended.
question about the amendment, though? The reprint says the $1 million is still in there, but you said it was stricken.
Yeah, it's stricken in the amendment. I don't know why it still says.
But the reprint doesn't have it in it?
Because I'm looking at the.
She's looking for the language, but I will say that there was discussion with the chair of the Appropriations Committee where this was resolved as far as the fiscal note, because there's no way we're going to move $1 million.
The fiscal note was resolved.
Delegate Rose.
It's here.
Remind me what are the consumer protection penalties?
Right.
We could do that by
because-
voice vote.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Madam Chair?
Hold on, council's answering.
okay,
Because that's consumer protection.
all right.
The consumer protection penalties, actually, you know what? Do you mind answering this one? Is it okay, Steve? Yes. Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Steve Sakamoto Wango from the Consumer Protection Division. Under the Consumer Protection Act, the penalties are up to $10,000 for a first violation, up to $25,000 for a second violation. Although there are a series of factors that the General Assembly put in that we have to consider in determining the amount of, of the penalties. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Madam Chair?
Hold on, Delegate Aaron's.
Yeah, just thank you to the sponsor. When I read what a behavioral health care provider, and it says, I guess this is narrowly focused to a behavioral health care provider. My question comes under a counselor, a psychiatrist, psychologist, and therapist, or social worker. Are social workers and counselors, they are degreed to do this stuff, I would assume, and they're not agreed meaning they, degreed, I'm sorry, to do this. Why are they in there? They're people like you and me that get jobs. They're not necessarily mental health professionals as opposed to supporters. Could you clarify that?
Well, there are varying ways of licensing these professionals that are very specific in terms of their skill sets. Whether they're degreed or not, they all have to be properly licensed to do the certain kind of business that they do.
I guess I'm questioning the competency, and they're probably good people, I'm not saying they're not, but when I see psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists, I think those people get qualified as healthcare professionals, and I'm not sure what legally makes them okay to do this versus you or me doing it.
Well, we're talking about, I'm sorry, I guess I'm not quite understanding your question. Are you questioning the competencies of these human?
A social worker, I'm questioning
Right.
competencies in this area to be a
Okay.
mental health professional with AI, which we
Yeah.
all agreed.
Yeah.
It's a good bill because we're trying to prevent AI from killing yourself or whatever.
Right.
I just don't know if those are the people that I would trust to be able to do this too also.
Okay, well, this is a slightly different issue from what this bill is trying to do. This bill basically is saying there are people who have been manipulated to believe that the AI systems they're interacting with are actually licensed professionals presenting information to them, when in fact, they are far from that. And also, we're prohibiting the systems from presenting them as capable of providing such services, basically. We're not saying humans doing this kind of work are trustworthy necessarily, or that they are all licensed. That's a different issue. We're trying to regulate AI, not the professionals.
Well, but I'm saying I agree. A psychiatrist should be they're a mental health expert. A
Right.
counselor could be a counselor. A
Right.
social worker is a
Behavioral
social.
health. not just the mental health, behavioral health.
Behavioral health, I'll use
Yes.
that word. They're behavioral
Yes.
health experts.
Right.
They're licensed experts.
Yeah.
Or is a counselor, that could be a counselor, I could be a counselor, am I going to be included in this?
Yes, in this bill, they are included.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'm good.
Sorry, I don't quite understand.
It's just, if you just said I could do it, I could be instrumental, I could use.
Can you turn your mics off so that I can? All right, great. Madam Chair, I'd like to move first the amendments that Delegate She presented, and then I'm going to move another voice amendment. So let's move her amendments first, if we could.
Are you on? It was seconded.
We already did that on the amendments? Okay.
Yeah.
So now we need to just vote on the first set of amendments, and then I've got a second one.
There's been motion favorable as amended and a second.
No, sorry, we're just moving the first set of amendments. So
Well, that's what I meant
yeah.
to say, the first set of amendments, but I see there's discussion. Delegate Pippy?
What is the penalty?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Can
No,
I?
no, no, no.
Okay.
What is the penalty currently for someone who's not licensed, but that pretends to be a counselor, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a social worker, or a therapist in Maryland?
What's the current penalty?
Like if Chris Adams tonight started giving Steve some mental health counseling and told him that he was a licensed therapist, what is the penalty for that?
I assume, and only to confirm that is the current law that you just mentioned, right?
No, he mentioned a consumer protection law violation.
Is this under consumer protection?
Somebody is representing that they're qualified to do something that they're not qualified to do, that would violate the Consumer Protection Act. But I think there are other penalties as well. I know that often unlicensed people are referred to the state's attorney's office for prosecution, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a criminal, I think it's probably a misdemeanor, but I mean, I guess just the crux of this bill is that someone could create an AI algorithm that basically pretends to be one of these professionals, could be talking to a vulnerable person and giving essentially like medical or serious advice. Because we heard that child bill related to suicide, you know, kids that are suicidal that go online and then the AI tells them how to kill themselves. You know, we can't have that. But I mean, that's the crux of all this, right? Okay. All right, that was my question.
So there was a motion to move on the first set of amendments and a second. Seeing no further discussion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move by voice another set of amendments, which is to delete in 14-5012, C2, which is the place that adds the penalty of $1 million, to delete that entire section in addition to the penalties available through Title 13. This section is subject to a civil penalty not exceeding $1 million for each violation. To delete that, and just so if folks aren't looking at the bill right now, that would leave the consumer protection article, Title 13, in effect, but not have an additional $1 million fine. So I'd like to move that amendment.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second on that second set of amendments. Any discussion or opposition? Seeing none.
Okay, I'd like to move the bill favorable as amended.
There's been a motion favorable as amended and second on House Bill 883. Any discussion? Seeing none. Vice Chair?
Yes.
Delegate Turner? Yes. Delegate Fennell? Yes. Delegate Pruski? Aye. Delegate Howard? No. Delegate Johnson? Aye. Delegate Waffos excused. Delegate Bandari? Yes. Delegate Rogers? Yes. Delegate Chi? Yes. Delegate Aaron's? No. Delegate Queen? Yes. Delegate Ampry? Yes. Delegate Adams? No. Delegate Pippy? Yes. Delegate Crosby is excused. Delegate Rose? Yes. Delegate Weigel?
I'm going to say yes.
Delegate Roberts?
Yes. We have two. So Pippy goes yes.
House Bill 883 passes 14. Pippi said yes.
Pippi was yes.
Okay. That's it for our voting list today. Floor at noon. Did we do? No, we put that on hold. Then we'll, if there are further voting sessions, we will let you know. Thank you, guys.